Thank you, everyone, for joining us this beautiful morning. Buenos dias. With all our heart, bienvenida to Miss Vanesa Franco. Absolutely a pleasure for all of us to welcome you here at India Business Group Knowledge Cafe webinar series, where we are here with our lovely lady, Miss Vanesa Alvarez Franco, talking about the economic and commercial. Of course, let me please tell you at first, Miss Vanesa Alvarez Franco is the Economic and Commercial Counsellor, the Consulate General of Spain in Mumbai. Absolutely an honor for all of us. Muchas gracias. Thank you for your humble presence. Thank you to all our lovely members of India Business Group. We are all looking forward to, of course, going international and getting into becoming global citizens. Truly, truly delighted to welcome each and every one of you, because of course, the way Spain is going, we all look forward to doing trade and of course, commerce with this beautiful, beautiful place and country called Spain. So absolutely a pleasure. Towards the beginning, it's time for us to welcome our Honorary Consul General of the Republic of Mali, the founder chairman of Nazara Technologies, which created history with their IPO and of course are really going and climbing the ladder of success on the international arena. Maybe please welcome the founder of India Business Group, who had this vision to give everyone this wondrous platform, be it a startup or be it someone who is a business honcho, to truly work across borders. Let's welcome Mr. Vikash Mithase. Global namaste to you, dear sir.
Thank you, Simran. Hello, Vanessa.
Hello, how are you?
You know, I'm very keen to go to Spain someday. I always think that it's the best city, the best country where you are in your region. But for some reason, Indians don't go that much except for holidays. I'm not yet certain what level of business we do with Spain as a country. I think there is a lot of scope yet to be exploited and explored. So I think IBG will work a little more on this after the pandemic. We will meet you and try to push some new businesses into Spain. Thank you, Simran. I think we can begin. There are a lot of people waiting.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Vikash. Well, my dear ladies and gentlemen, Spanish and Indian companies are world leaders in certain industries. And here we have great opportunities for cooperation between both the countries. Also, the very, very amazing, strong cultural ties. But before we know more about Spain, it's time for us to please introduce our very lovely and amazing dynamic CEO, Ms. Priya Pansare, followed by the audiovisual. Good morning, Ms. Priya. Ms. Priya, we can't hear you, sweetheart. Can we please have the audio visual meanwhile?
Handle Vanessa ma'am directly.
Ladies and gentlemen, India Business Group Chamber of Commerce is a modern chamber of commerce focused on mentoring and supporting Indian businesses to help them grow globally. India Business Group has a network of over 50,000 associations with over 1,000 active members. India Business Group organizes sector-specific events for their members pertaining to sectors like real estate, film and entertainment, IT sector, finance, banking, healthcare, tourism, legal, HR, manufacturing, retail. We invite Consul General and Trade Commissioners to explore trade opportunities between countries.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Priya, and thank you very much for the audiovisual of India Business Group. My dear lovely friends, we are extremely, extremely honored and blessed to have with us our Economic and Commercial Counsellor of the Embassy of Spain. I'm going to please request you, ma'am, only if it's comfortable and if it's possible, if you can unmask yourself, because I know that
Oh,
you're very
yes,
beautiful.
sure.
Estás
Yes, I am in the
bella.
office, so I just try to keep this mask all the time for our safety. But yes, here I am. You know me very well
Wow,
from the previous
yes.
meetings.
So I have something to tell you, ma'am. Estás bella. You're really
Oh.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. My dear lovely friends, Miss Vanesa Alvarez Franco, our Economic and Commercial Counsellor of the Embassy of Spain, is based in Mumbai, where for the past couple of years, she's been promoting trade and investment between India and Spain. Before assuming her current responsibilities in India, she held different positions in the Ministry of Economy, in the Public Treasury, and in the Prime Minister's cabinet in Spain. She's also lived in South Korea for 5 years. It's absolutely an honor for all of us to welcome Miss Vanesa Alvarez Franco. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Really, I thank you for this invitation. It's an honor for us and a pleasure to be with you again. It's an opportunity to talk about our country and try to find the common areas where we can work together and where we can find opportunities for both countries, because we are convinced that the main problem we have here, the main challenge we face, is that we don't know each other properly. But I am sure that once we understand well each other, once we know our strengths and weaknesses, then we can find some areas where we can work together and find really profitable opportunities for both sides. We do not pretend to come here with a naive approach or a very enthusiastic too enthusiastic or too pessimistic idea about our opportunities here. We just want to present what we have, the kind of country we are, and try to make everybody aware of it and see if they can choose something, if there is something that can be interesting for India. So I will just speak up. I will try to present my country. We have prepared a PPT, but I do not have access through my telephone. There is an advisor from my office, Cecilia Tortonda. She's here. She has logged in also in this video conference, and we are going to share the PPT. So I will explain the first slides, and Cecilia will continue with the last part of the presentation. And after that, of course, we will be open for questions now and anytime, of course, out of the conference. We are always here in Mumbai, and we have our website and our email and telephone numbers. We are always reachable and happy to help. So let me just start introducing Spain. Maybe this we skipped this in the past meetings, and why not coming back to the beginning and try to explain what kind of country we are. Well, we are a very small country in the southwest of Europe, in the very corner of Europe. We are a country that is the size of Maharashtra and Gujarat together, approximately. I always say this for you to have an idea of how tiny we are. We have 47 million inhabitants. It is only just like 3.5% of the population of India, which is so small. And 10% of our population is foreign born. So we are very open, really open to the world in terms of people coming to live and really stay in Spain. And also, as I will explain later, regarding business. No? We are very open to trade and investment too, not only to people and professionals coming to Spain, which are very, very welcome. Well, another important thing is that our GDP is about half that of India. So this means that India is a much bigger country in terms of the economic importance in the world. India is the 5th world economy, but Spain is the 4th largest economy in the European Union. And because the size of our population is so small, in terms of per capita GDP, we are ranking well. Because we have a per capita GDP that is approximately $30,000 per capita, no, on average. So although it's a small country, it is an interesting market too, because of the purchasing power of our population and because it's a gateway, an entry point to the rest of Europe and to some other markets, as we will explain later, because of our historical links with Latin America, where they speak Spanish because of our common history, or to the north of Africa, which is so close to Spain. Actually, Spain is the reference to some countries in the north of Africa, just because of our common history and because we are part of the European Union, and also to some third countries like in the Middle East. In this case, in the very last case in the Middle East, for India, this is not really an important advantage that we are offering to you, because your privileged relation with the Middle East is really unique. But still, Spain is there too. So let me just comment that we are important exporters of goods and services, especially services. Probably you know Spain as a tourism destination, but we are actually the 11th largest exporter of commercial services. So we really have a diversified economy and a very open economy. We are the 16th largest exporter of commercial goods, and actually the openness ratio, the weight that exports plus imports have over our GDP, this is one of the highest ratios in the European Union. Only Germany has an openness ratio that is higher than ours. Well, maybe you can see now that we have a diversified pattern of exports, that we export things like India, no? In every sector. Actually, I invite any company that can be interested in Spain to ask us about the particular thing that they need, because I am sure that we will produce that too, that we will have some market for that too, if in case they want to sell. And I am sure that we can connect them with partners also in Spain, no matter what kind of product it is, in which sector we will, in whatever sector, we will have always a company that is producing that. In terms of foreign direct investment and capital investment, it will be interesting for you to know, I am sure, that Spain is also an interesting destination for foreign investment, the same as India. India is attracting foreign investment at a rate that is simply amazing for the rest of the world. But Spain, in spite of being a small country, in spite of being a mature economy and based in Europe, it is also an important destination for investment. And this happens because of a lot of reasons that we will explain later, but that are very related to our degree of competitiveness. The kind of mix of strengths that we offer to our investors. It is true that our market is mature, but we are still offering a lot of competitivity in terms of unit labor costs, in terms of market access, facility to doing business, and actually the markets that you can approach starting from Spain. So in this regard, actually, as you can see here in some numbers, we are the 6th greenfield destination, of course, before the COVID crisis, and an important destination in Europe, actually the 2nd country in terms of greenfield investments received in Europe. Regarding trade, I forgot to mention one thing. We have a trade deficit with India. So our commercial relation is a bit unbalanced. This is why we are working here, trying to promote our things also, our goods and services. But this means too that we are really open to India, that we are not doing anything particularly, to stop imports or to decrease our dependency ratio from India. No, we are all right. We are importing around 4,000 million of euros in terms of goods and services from India a year. And we are exporting to India only like 1.3 thousand million euros a year. So the imbalance is huge, and of course we have to effort more to sell and to promote and to try to explain what we have to the Indian market. But what I want to highlight again is that we really buy in India, and we are comfortable with that, and it's fine, and we find this market very interesting, and more and more companies, Spanish companies, will come when as we see that the economy, the Indian economy is growing or has a growing potential. Of course, these years, last and this one, are maybe an exception because of the impact of this crisis. But we know that in the medium to long term, the perspectives are bright for India as always, and we are happy to keep doing business here and happy to sourcing here also. So I will just finish this part saying that we have more than 200 Spanish companies based in India already. And this is an important number. I mean, it's not a lot of companies, but the big ones are all of them here. And they have plants, they have, I mean, manufacturing plants, they have representation offices, but they are very engaged with this market. And there is also an Indo-Spanish Chamber of Commerce and Trade that is based in New Delhi. And it is an official chamber of commerce that recognized by our government. So that is also an interesting contact point, maybe in some cases, to reach our companies or try to see if there are some synergies there. Here, as you can see, I will just comment the access. What I said before, there is access from Spain to the European Union market. That is a market with more than 500 million consumers, as you know. We have been in the European Union since the 80s. So we are really at the core of the European Union. And we have a very tight, what can I say, very deep links with our main neighbors and our partners in the European Union, because actually the bulk of our exports and our trade comes to and from the European Union. Apart from that, we have a privileged relation with many Latin American countries, I mean all of them actually, with a lot of agreements, a lot of presence of Spanish companies doing businesses there, and actually a general understanding of culture, institutions, and languages, which is natural to us. And what can I say? Actually, all our big companies, all our relevant businesses happen in Spain and in Latin America at the same time, because it is sometimes not really easy to differentiate markets in these countries for some of our companies, because they are at the very core of their businesses. And then we also offer some links, as I said, to the north of Africa and the Middle East, because you see, we are in the south of Europe, and we have a common history with these countries too. And actually, we have two cities that are based literally in Morocco, because of our common history. And we have the islands that are actually some Spanish islands that are in the Atlantic Ocean, but very south in the coast with close to Africa. So we offer some special agreements with these countries, and also a big base of institutional cooperation and actually expats and companies doing business there. So it's another market that you can access easily from Spain. So this is a very general presentation about my country. And now Ms. Cecilia Tortonda, a trade advisor from my office, part of my team, she will keep commenting some ideas about the business climate and the sectorial strengths and what we have to offer in each of the sectors. We are open for questions during the presentation or in the end, as you want. Thank you very much. Cecilia, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Vanessa. I am going to continue with the business climate scope and then talk about briefly the key sectors that should be a business opportunity to invest in Spain. Well, setting up a business in Spain is really simple because depending on the investors' needs, there are a huge variety and many possibilities of type of businesses that you can set up. And also, I would like to highlight the national treatment clause, which means that foreign investors will have the same treatment as Spanish investors. So there's no discrimination as regard of the type of business or side of the investment you would like to do. Then once we have the business created, how we can operate. It means that for that, we will need a proper facilities to make it possible so that we can provide.
All right. Miss Cecilia is going to join us in the next few seconds. And if we can ask question from Miss Vanesa, meanwhile, if that's okay, till the time we get connect back with Cecilia. So I'm going to ask Miss Vanesa, well, my dear lovely friends of India Business Group and our guests who are here with us, please feel free to ask us questions in the chat box, and we'll truly ask Miss Vanesa the question. Yes, Miss Cecilia.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, Miss
Madam,
Vanesa.
can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
I couldn't hear Miss Cecilia. Sure.
Yes. So Cecilia's connection has stopped, right?
Yeah, her video is on, but yes, the audio is, and it's stuck. So yes. So if you allow us, we can start with questions, whatever comforts you, ma'am, or we can wait for her to rejoin.
I think it's better to go for the questions.
Sure, sure. Ma'am, we've already received a couple of questions, and at first, thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thank you, dear ma'am. Ma'am, the first question we've received is, what are the policies of Spain to support startups from India in education for differently abled people?
Oh, the policy for startups.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. I will explain in detail. Just let me tell you that we are having very big internet connectivity issues in the office right now. So sure. Cecilia's connection was working properly a minute ago. Now it's off. I am worried that mine could go off too in any moment. But if that happens, what can we do? We are doing our best here and trying with different devices.
We are thankful to you. It won't happen. Please, you can always join me.
Okay, I hope so. Yeah.
We'll
so for the startup policy, yes, we do have a very big base of IT parks and different public initiatives that support entrepreneurs from the very beginning. There is a set of public policies put in place at the general level and also at the local levels. Regional governments and local governments. So yes, definitely, please write to us with the concrete proposal, and we can even offer grants and a program that we launch once a year with a big packet of support to entrepreneurs. It is called Rising Up Spain, and it is addressed to innovative startups coming from outside the world, from outside of Spain. So you are really invited to participate in this competition that takes place every year. And for the selected startups, we offer a comprehensive package of support. But apart from that, if any individual request comes, we will try to help anyway. We will try to connect with the relevant instances to get you support. And also a part of that, we also offer a visa, a preferential visa for entrepreneurs wishing to establish a company in Spain. So we do have this foreseen in our regulation, and actually this office, or the office we have in Delhi, will be in charge of assessing the project and trying to support them with the rest of the authorities back in Spain. Please let us know, any of you, and we will try to help.
Wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. In fact, we've received 3 questions on visa. The first one saying, in Spain, supporting startup visa, and then, for startup owners, what are the norms? So we got the answer. And what is the criteria for permanent residency in Spain? And this is where I would also like to ask you, ma'am, what about the Spain Golden Visa, for the permanent visas for Spain? Could you just highlight?
Yes, we do offer. Yes, we do offer the Golden Visa. There are a series of cases Of course, we can start with a productive investment. In this case, there is no limit. The thing, when you're just creating a company in Spain, there is not a fixed amount of money to be invested. The relevant thing here is the project. It has to add value to the Spanish economy. It has to create some employment, or it has to really create a synergy or a growth potential for other companies and industries around. We will assess this kind of requests for a visa based on a business project. But also there is the golden visa that we normally know related to real estate investment. And yes, it exists, it is working properly. Some Indians, and actually in this office we have assessed also in these cases, although it is not compulsory. In the case of the real estate visa, it's more direct. And the amount to be invested is €500,000. Which in the Spanish real estate market is really very reasonable. I mean, even a single apartment in Madrid will cost that. But I am sure that you are very aware that it is still very competitive, even for Indian standards, and of course for compared to other European standards. It's only €500,000 to be invested in Spain.
Wow. That's very, very interesting. We have a lot of questions, in fact, regards this. So what are the policies of Spain to support startups in the renewable and sustainable energy sector, if you may kindly highlight on this?
The startup policy is the same for all the sectors, across all sectors, but this one is a particularly interesting sector for my government in this very moment. We have a ministry for ecological transition, called like this, very recent, and it gives you an idea of how important this topic is in Spain. And we are trying to support all kinds of projects to comply with the very ambitious European targets for 2030. So yes, please, if there is a startup being, like designed and created somewhere, please let us know, because we are sure there will be an interest in this very particular sector.
Sure. And this is specific to Mehul. He says he's in regular touch and in contact with a professional real estate agent, which is based in Madrid, and looking forward to buying a property in Spain. Since he's done his master's in business administration in Madrid in 2010, he already has a bank account in Caja, Madrid. And what he's looking for is MIE to go ahead with the property purchase. Will you be able to guide him on this?
Yes, my team is telling me that they are already answering this question through the chat. It's on the chat.
Wonderful.
The answer for that is on the chat.
Right.
I am sure that in the chat you can see the general email address of this office, which is mumbai@comercio.mineco.es. And there we are reachable anytime. So just we will go ahead with the questions, but remember that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. In fact, Kashyap says that, Spain was a pioneer in solar energy and they want to get in touch with the solar park developers in Spain. And I think definitely you have the email ID. Please get in touch with them, Kashyap. We have with us our vertical head of India Business Group in the real estate sector, Mr. Ajay Riya, and he has the question about the income tax rate. He wants to know about the income tax rate and also how is Spain managing with the COVID crisis. Dear Vanesa ma'am. Please allow us a second, and thank you for your questions. And we do have Ms. Cecilia who's going to answer them on the chat box. At the same time, we do have the email ID, and Ms. Priya Pansare shall also share with you guys the email ID, the contact information. We are waiting for them to connect with us. And thank you for your questions. And it seems everyone here at India Business Group is extremely eager to, do great ties with Spain, because, definitely it's a future economy. And of course, talking of the Catalan situation, yes, Mr. Ajay Riya, we're just waiting for ma'am to connect to us. And I'm truly thankful. And I think, meanwhile, I must request Ms. Priya and Mr. Vikas to please plan, for a delegation to Spain, because everyone is eager. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me now? I am very sorry because of the connection problems that we are facing today.
No, ma'am, it's fine. Absolutely fine. Thank you for being here with us, ma'am.
Yes, tell me please. I think I will not be able to connect my video camera now.
Good enough.
But
That's
we
good
can
enough,
continue
ma'am.
talking. Please, I
Sure.
am happy to receive more questions, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we have with us our Vice Chairman, Mr. Dilip Mehta, and India Business Group Head of the Real Estate Sector, Mr. Ajay Kant Riya, who would like to know about the norms, the income tax rate, as well as, you know, the situation right now. How is Spain managing the COVID crisis?
Okay, regarding the income tax rates, the rates are progressive, like in India. And we start with a minimum that is exempted from taxation for personal taxation, which is 21,000 euros a year. That is exempted. If I'm not mistaken, it is reviewed every year. It must be around 20 something thousand euros every year. And then the taxation rates go from 15 to 45. They also change this very frequently. I mean, the rates, and especially the levels, no, when each rate is applicable. But still, it makes it, you can have an idea. It's not very different from taxation in India. Actually, it is not really not considered a burden or a competitive disadvantage in terms of any other European country.
Sure. Thank you, dear ma'am. I would like to ask you about the cultural ties, because, you know, the cultures are very similar. The flamenco and the Hindustani music, especially the Rajasthani music, are very similar. So we have a question which goes along with that, which says that Priya Tutorials is looking forward to coaching students of all age group in educational and cultural verticals like dance, singing, yoga, and musical instruments. And what is the future of coming up with virtual learning centers in Spain?
Well, that is an important question. Yes, definitely. We are promoting the exchange of students, and actually we know that a lot of Indian students go abroad to complete their education, and we are trying to attract them to Spain too, because we are convinced that there are common things that will make life very easy in Spain for an Indian student. I think that the language barrier is in your mind always because of our country speaking Spanish, not English, but we offer more and more studies in English, 100% English, or another percentage of English and another one in Spanish, but mostly in English. We are increasing our offer, and a lot of foreign students are actually coming to Spain. Yeah, I don't know if you are aware that Spain is the first, the most popular destination for students across Europe. In the famous Erasmus program in Europe, Spain is always the preferred destination. So we are used to welcoming foreign students. And in terms of cultural exchange, yes, definitely we have to go more virtual everywhere in the world, no? And we have been receiving some delegations here of Spanish universities and schools and centers, languages sometimes, and also in some other fields, and they are offering mixed courses for foreign students nowadays. Sometimes a part is virtual, another part will happen there in Spain. And just let me recall I recall now another question that I didn't answer: how we are coping with COVID right now. Well, we are in a different phase. It's just that what I see now in India, we are in the second wave. We are better in Mumbai nowadays. It is improving, but has some way to go in Delhi and in other parts of India. But it will be over. I am sure in a few months, because it happened. So it was the same in Spain before and the same in Europe before. So yes, we are vulnerable, all of us, but vaccination is progressing very fast in Spain. Very close to 30% of our population has received at least one shot of the vaccine. So we are now opening again. Actually, masks are still compulsory and there are a lot of rules in place, but we are opening a lot of activities and public places, and everything is coming back to life in Spain. So this will happen again in India, I am sure, in a few months, because we are all trying to be disciplined, trying to cope with regulations, and regulations are just being created to solve it, to put an end to this problem and to increase vaccination. And I think that's the solution for all of us.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us, of course, the insights of every sector. We've even covered the cultural sector now, including the other sectors, and telling us about the present situation. Coming to the medical system, we need to know from you the opportunities, please, if you could highlight us to collaborate in the medical value travel space between Spain and Indian healthcare industry. If you could kindly elaborate on this, please.
Sure. Thank you very much for this opportunity, because we have seen important synergies in both ways. Last year, we were buying desperately in India all kinds of medical supplies, which are still being bought from outside. I mean, from India, from other countries in the world. So, and also an important part of medical, medicine components of active principles for medicines. We are buying them in India, actually. And our pharmaceutical companies are one of these companies that I always say that are mostly buyers in India. They sell here some products. We sell medical devices, for instance, but we buy a lot of products in India. And especially nowadays, where we are both countries seeing the importance of this sector and all the progress. Actually, every family, every person considering increasing the stock of knowledge and devices that we have at home, no? Just to be prepared. We all know more. We all want more, our own equipments at home. So it's a sector of opportunity, and I see a lot of opportunities in both ways, because in this regard, we are not really competitors. We produce different things. In India, you produce some things that are interesting for Spain. We want to buy them. And in Spain, we produce some other things that are also interesting for India to buy. Of course, if we offer a good relation between quality and price, we know, we are very aware.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Vanesa. I would just like to mention in 2019, I was at Barcelona for a very strong, big, massive cultural event for 10 days. And it was absolutely wonderful because we had this fusion of flamenco and the Indian dance form, which I still carry it, deep within my heart. And the next question is related to, very, very similar, related to our culture, by Sanjay Tandon. He says both India and Spain have rich music and cultural traditions. Now, he's the founder and CEO of the Indian Singers Association, and he would like to explore on ways and means of promoting music of both the countries. So is it possible that IBG and ISRA jointly work on doing something in this field, since ISRA has just entered into a bilateral agreement with the Spanish Copyright Society, AIE, since they are registered copyright society in India? So is there any possibility?
Oh, definitely there is a possibility, and I don't know if you are aware that our School of Flamenco based in Andalusia, they were here in India in a virtual mission a few months ago, and they were actually trying to find contacts for them to be recognized teachers of flamenco, because they thought, I think wisely, very reasonably, that this is a natural place to increase cooperation between the Spanish flamenco and the forms of dance that that exist in India and that are deeply linked to flamenco. Actually, they're considered the source of flamenco, no? So yes, sure, please let us know. We will do whatever we can. We have a cultural section in the embassy, different from this office, and I am sure they are really happy to help. So in this case, maybe the dialogue will not happen only with this office, but with the cultural representative as well, who is based in New Delhi. And I am sure we can work together and find something and promote this type of art, and actually the cultural industries that for us, as from a commercial point of view, are industries where we have to explore more.
Sure. Dear ma'am, what is the scope for exporting fresh vegetables and fruits from India to Spain?
Well, there is also, it is possible to, again, in this case, maybe I will just comment some things that may be interesting for you to know. Well, we have two offices in India. One is based in New Delhi and this one in Mumbai. And we have a sectorial division of work between the two offices. So our office in New Delhi is the one in charge of the agricultural sector. So they will answer this question, I think, better. And I am happy to readdress them the question so they can tell you in an email with more detail the opportunities there. Let me just tell you also that Spain is a big vegetable and fruit manufacturer, actually producer in Europe, and we are offering, we are supplying these products to the rest of Europe with a lot of success, actually. So yes, we are open because normally trade happens in the form of intra-industry trade. So this is not a barrier. Maybe this is an opportunity that we both have strengths, similar strengths in this sector, and I am sure we can work together and then export to third countries together, or do some kind of planning that goes beyond India and Spain only.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the food slide as well. We simultaneously getting all the information. And I'm just going to read out the question because I'm sure he can email to you and get the answer. They want to get the access to fruit trades in different cities in Spain, like online portals. And if we can get some information on the general market, please feel free to email to them. Ma'am, how receptive Spain is for the medical laser export?
We are very open. You know, ours is a very open market. There are no licenses, no import quotas. The commercial policy is common for the whole of the European Union. So the rules are there. They are very public and very well known. We always work through the guidelines of the World Trade Organization, and I don't think there will be a particular barrier for this product. So the market is there, open to everyone, ready to go there and sell. And I just want to mention that, add to this, that the Embassy of India in Madrid, I am sure that they will help better when it comes to finding customers for you. We can get you one or two contacts. We can put you in touch with the organizations, I mean the associations, industrial associations. But I am sure that it's in the Embassy of India in Madrid where they can prepare a more personalized answer for you. In the same way that we do this for our companies here in India. We work more in detail for our companies, but we charge a price for that to our own companies. And on the contrary, our work is always free for Indian companies.
Sure. Thank you, dear ma'am. We would like to know, wow, we have non-stop questions here. Does Spain have a policy to lease land for hotel projects?
No, I don't think there is a common policy because land is liberalized. I mean, it's not subject to the kind of property rules that apply in India. So in Spain, and it is very common, believe me, we always make this joke that probably some of the islands are not really ours, you know, they are just owned by a lot of foreigners spending their holidays there. So it is just theoretically part of Spain, no? Some places in the Mediterranean, but still, yes, my answer is that this this policy is free, it's mostly free. Actually, you can get maybe some subsidies, sometimes some support to start a business in Spain. So you can always acquire property, a land property, and build there. No, there is no limit because maybe the investor is foreign born. No, not to that.
Sure. We've almost covered all the sectors. Now coming to the textile sector, they would like to know the export opportunities of fabrics, apparels, and bed linens, tea and coffee products to Spain, the export for the textile sector.
Well, yes, the textile sector, I think we have not commented this in this session, but I remember another occasion where we answered a question that was very similar. We are happy to promote all sectors. And actually, we import a lot of cotton and a lot of apparel from India. So we are totally open to that. A lot of our companies started here purely buying in India, manufacturing here, and then selling back in Spain and in the rest of Europe and Latin America, of course. You can see there in this slide some of our brands, some of them present in India, so probably you will know them. And they started like this, but now they are also present in India, and they are trying to also open their market here. We are still buying. I mean, we are net buyers. What can I say? As almost the rest of the world is buying textiles from India, and we are happy to. We're always open to welcoming innovations, new products, and whatever you have to offer. We will be more than happy to cooperate and see if we can explore some buying agreements. In this case, these brands, they are not only in the textile sector, they are mostly in the distribution sector, let's say, nowadays. So the policy they have for buying and finding suppliers is really optimizing what is available in the world. So yes, sure, please let us know, and we will try to put you in touch, or we will readdress you to the Embassy of India in Madrid, where I am sure they can still do more for you. No, I am sure that it's a sector of opportunity.
Thank you. And we love to go as tourists and visit Spain as well. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, now it's almost on number 2 or number 3, after France, we can visit Spain. So the next question is, how can, like Spain has been doing incredible work towards increasing tourism. How can one be a part of, being a part of the tourism sector from India?
Well, India is doing very well in the tourism sector too, actually. And it is contributing to the Indian GDP significantly, always with the exception of these crazy years that we are living last year and this current year, because of the COVID situation. But yes, well, our experience is really broad in this sector. We started very early. That is also a key. We started early, and we were learning little by little. We had some strong points, like the weather and the location in the south of Europe, so with a market of customers very close to us. But we have been modernizing this sector for decades now. And this is the key to still being there, being the second country, second world destination, always second, after France or after the US in terms of number of tourists or in terms of revenues, but always there in that position for decades. And it takes a lot of effort by the authorities and a lot of commitment to modernize continuously. Modernize, being very open, and integrating this policy with the rest of the ones we have. We are just offering everything very easy to visitors, and also offering good packages in terms of prices and quality. I think that's it.
Sure. Coming to the gems and jewelry sector, what is the scope for the gems and jewelry business in Spain, please, ma'am?
Well, in this regard, I don't really have any detailed information, to be honest, but we have received some requests in the past, and we have always found something for them. So that market is not as developed in Spain as in India. It is not that important a sector, but still we have some room because it's not that developed, and you have a strength here in India. Mostly, most Indian companies in the sector have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. So yes, I am sure we can still find something.
Thank you, dear ma'am. Ma'am, if you could kindly let us know something about the medical furniture export market to Spain.
Oh, furniture exports. I can give you more detailed information in an email, because as of now I cannot give you numbers or whatever. But what I can tell you is that we have organizing missions in this sector. I told before that it's a sector of opportunity here because of the pandemic. But it was before the pandemic. It was still a sector of opportunity because, as I said, we have different strengths, so we can work together. And in terms of furniture, yes, what I see our strengths are mostly in terms of devices, and some very particular products that incorporate a lot of innovation, but are mostly devices, mostly machines. So yes, we are very open to furniture, very open to supplies. I mean, all the small inputs that are so necessary and that rotate so much in this moment. So yes, please let us know, maybe with an email, and we will answer more properly.
Sure, ma'am, it's been truly wondrous, and from all my heart and soul and with folded hands, we like to mention on behalf of India Business Group, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. And
so much.
you know, it's been the most insightful webinar that we've ever had, Knowledge Cafe here at IBG. And the fact that everyone's taking keen interest is simply because Miss Vanessa, because of the kind of information you're giving us about Spain, which is, of course, I can easily say and call it the hotspot for trade and commerce as well as tourism sector. So truly thank you from the bottom of our heart for everything you've answered. You've covered almost all the sectors. At the same time, I'm going to thank Ms. Cecilia also for joining us from your end. And I'm going to request Mr. Vikash Mitra Sen to speak a few words, because he has lots to discuss. A lot of chat is going on already, thinking about ties, you know, with Sanjayji and so on. Mr. Vikash Mitra Sen, sir, please.
Thank you. This was a wonderful session, really business oriented. I have one point to say and make is India should not run. One thing to say, India should not run a positive trade balance with Spain. We don't need a foreign exchange anymore. There is a lot in India and its bank. So we need to push more imports from Spain into India. And this, I think, is something that IBG should do. We'll get together with the consulate and with the commercial people and try to work out a plan for next 2 years, how to do more imports from Spain and how to have Indian companies invest, set up industry in Spain. This is my message for today's discussion. My team will take it up further later, maybe after the COVID is done and behind us, but we can start in some way. Thank you very much. Very nice afternoon. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Vikash Mitra Sen. Ms. Vanesa, would you like to say something towards the end?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you again for this opportunity. What can I say? I am very happy to keep working with you. My office is always working here. I have a wonderful team, and I am happily living in Mumbai, so always available. Let's keep working in the future. Please contact me if you want to suggest any topic or whatever is of interest for your companies. Please let us know. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone for joining us, to our CEO, Ms. Priya Pansare, to Girish, Siddhi, and Sujata, and thank you to all our lovely members for taking keen interest. So let's have our visions intact, and let's go ahead. Yes, do you want to say something, Ms. Vanesa? Let's go ahead with being a part of India Business Group Chamber of Commerce, and of course, trying and getting into great commerce and trade ties between countries. Once again, a humble thanks to Ms. Vanesa Alvarez Franco. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Vikash Mitterse. India Business Group wishes you all a great week ahead. Take care. God bless.